came about 3 trucks and
3 trucks
went
of
up
police?
yes, I went up and pulled up all the marijuana, carted it off, and also grabbed one of the young men here and took him off to jail. So his mother is gone, and the lawyer, Mr. Goff, is gone as well.
Well, the first thing is the birthright part.
Right.
That's the first part, the birthright, because it's our birthright that they're taking away. And then secondarily, it's access, that they're denying access to the Jamaican people. And thirdly, they're destroying our environment in the process and robbing us of our heritage. Okay, so I follow. And so, what is the position now of the group that you represent?
Right. Well, the position is to try. Well, the first step was to get an injunction done. Well, and let me clear, I don't directly represent, so I'm tangentially connected. I'm just helping as somebody who loves the people here and who had plans to help improve the beach. And then this sort of fell into my hands. So I saw the opportunity to lend my particular set of skills to help at least make sure that they were protected and that the government and whoever is planning what they're planning didn't just roll over them, because it came very close. As a matter of fact, came to a point where I had to be hiding off on that spit of land over there, remotely viewing through my binoculars what was going on here, just to be sure, bulldozers weren't coming over here, because we didn't necessarily want to reveal our hand. I pressed for them to go to Vice Media. That was my, sort of thing, rather than contact local media here first, because we wanted to hopefully catch things, in the act, so to speak, and be able to prevent them from being able to say we didn't know this and so on and so forth. But because the threat came that they might be at everything bulldozed, and that would have been a serious problem, they said we have to reveal our hand now. So that's how everything came to be.
Where did you learn of it?
When did I learn of it?
Yeah, where and when?
Where was helping the lady at the front there, Miss Gladys.
Miss Gladys.
Because what was happening, I'm working on a different project. I'm trying to build Wakanda in Jamaica, which is a whole separate thing, to join the Boy Scouts of America with the Boy Scouts of Jamaica. I'm a train leader there, here. I've seen the issue with young men and violence, and we have an opportunity to, through the Scouts, connect a program to get Boy Scouts from the world here, help fund the program, work with the US Embassy, a whole other thing, but run a different business today. But that's just how I ended up here. Actually was I came to review the beach to see if it would be a suitable location to bring a lot of kids for scouting. So I'd walk the full length, come down and got to meet everybody. And it's in talking with Miss Gwen, I had asked about what we could do to improve the beach, because I'm an analyst by trade. And so I analyzed, and I saw a lot of opportunity for improving the beach. So a lot of the cabanas that were built and such was in the last couple of months, because I made suggestions, they followed through, and things are starting to pick up. And we were going to start to invest money to build. You see where the steel is on top of there? To add like a decking up there. I had a chef coming to, I'd do his flavor, masseuses, and a whole bunch of things. They're going to set up a gym, whatnot. And in the midst of all of this, she mentioned, well, you really shouldn't do much because I may be gone. And I was like, what do you mean? And that's how the whole thing revealed. And she was trying to reach a relative abroad. So I said, well, I have technology here, I'll connect you. And then so this whole thing kind of flowed out.
So how did she know of the pending issue?
Right. Well, it had been ongoing. And I guess I'll let her speak to that, because I don't want to misquote her. But we will have a press release covering all of the details as such, and I will be doing some interviews internationally, because the big move in the real press was to get Vice Media. They did an excellent job in Ghana with the Vice President. They did a good job with the Maroons up in, with Akampong, and the threat to their sovereignty and their territory. So we figured they would be the best at doing what they do here. But we lost the element of surprise, unfortunately.
So in summary, what do you see as the issue? In summary, based on what you have heard from Ms. Gwen and others?
The issue is greed, because there's a whole. What you should do is, when you get the chance, and maybe a bit of walk, cut the corner there and see just how much land is back there. They can leave here alone. There's no reason they have to come to this side. Leave it alone.
Who is
right?
they?
Whoever is, I don't want to say. Well, it's a mystery, because we uncovered, doing a little bit of due diligence and research, this WOOF group, registered in the UK. I believe they're registered here, and the lawyers can speak to more of the detail there. Because again, my mind is sort of filled. I haven't slept in 2 days almost, between what landed, rushing to make sure they couldn't do what they were doing here, and trying to gather all the information and stay accurate. Put out press release, because we have to amend the press release now to include what just happened here today. Because this was a surprise, and I'm worried. because the government has taken a big step here
They're moving
to do
very
what they
fast,
did
today.
on this day.
Yes.
And we suspect the move was to happen, more forcefully before, to knock out their ability to earn. Because look at the weekend. This is a big weekend where people normally would be much more here. So by striking when they did, you know what I'm saying? Because her grill was completely torn off. If you get a picture of that, if you
They
go
did
out,
that today?
the electrical poles, that will happen before. So it's been
Oh,
an incremental
okay.
series of steps. Well, as reported, because again,
Reported,
a nephew of the lady up there who lives further up had provided electricity from his house down here. And he was told to remove it. And I'll just say it in those words. He was told to remove it.
By who?
So, well,
Okay.
for the moment,
Yeah.
I want to be careful, right? Because, things are expanding on. I'd rather the lawyers speak to that
Yeah,
issue. And it will be partly in the press release and, in further subsequent interviews. Because the emergency at the moment is to try and get the young man bailed because his
Right.
mother and he are gone now too.
And they arrested him in relation
To the marijuana.
the marijuana
yes.
that day.
Right.
Because it's illegal for him to, by their definition, to be growing a plant.
Right. But again, considering that it's a religious sacrament
Yeah,
for the
but it's a
Rastafari, so
plant.
there should have been some consideration there.
Well, just so you know,
Yeah.
the UIC's position is the government cannot make any plant illegal.
Right.
By our position, if he's growing a plant, it's okay for him to grow a plant. It's also illegal for the government to, well, not illegal, but it's wrong for them to want to arrest him because he's growing a plant.
Right.
Or even using a plant.
Right. And there's
So,
precedent
yeah,
here too.
yeah.
When did this suddenly become a problem? Several things suddenly became a
Yeah,
problem.
for this area.
The access they had to a stream back there suddenly became a problem.
Right.
The lady working the front there with her store suddenly became a problem, and this man came, tore off the grill, removed her cooking, equipment,
Yeah.
which it was his, but
So it's a lot of intimidation for
slow drip.
Yeah.
With-
So
and
what-
there are other things that happened, words, verbally, and individuals
Threats and
brought
that kind
here,
of stuff, yeah.
right, to drive fear into who was here.
So we're seeing a trend
So,
here.
yeah.
We're seeing a trend here where the trend is towards brute force. Not just here, but in other places. Rather than saying, okay, there's a problem, whatever the problem is, let us sit down and look at the problem and let us take a due process, which may include going to court, people giving testimony, whatever, witnesses, and then reaching a position instead. What they're doing now is applying pressure and force to get their way.
This is what seems to be the case. So it's
Yeah.
surprising to see their press release because they're alleging mischief on our behalf, that we're up to mischief.
Right, which is also another thing. They're using crime as the basis for attacking the Jamaican people. So they said, okay, we know criminals are here, and so we're going to go in and use brute force, as opposed to launching an investigation, assessing the situation, and then having the police and the justice system work appropriately. They're using this kind of forceful tactic of intimidation and threats. All right,
And
we
there's an
follow.
issue in the law too, and the way the law is administered with regards to easement and the right of access to the beach. We juxtapose what's going on here with what's going on in Barbados. But Barbados guarantees the right for all to free access to the beach. So you can build around, and you have the right to your property as a property owner, but you cannot remove access to the beach. And they're claiming that for this beach that they did not tell any group that they had to block off the beach or whatever, right? Which flies in the face of the what is in effect has happened all over the place. People get access to land, they block off access to because they cannot dictate, according to law, for the landowner to not fence his property. And that was what the residents here were told. That up the road was going to get blocked off and bad man going to be patrolling it and right? So clearly,
Ineffectively blocking access while
yes,
not
because
blocking
it's a single
access.
way in and out.
If you want access, you need to swim around.
Right. So that would effectively kill any livelihood here.
Absolutely.
So surprising what they did today. I have to admit, surprising. We're not expecting that.
So in the midst
And
of
it
all
makes me
the
wonder.
all the economic challenges we have, we all know Jamaicans are struggling to make a living in so many different ways. We have some people who are in charge of our country who are prepared to make life harder for the people.
Well, let me counter.
Yeah.
Let's play devil's advocate
Yeah.
here, because their argument is going to be, well, we're providing jobs. St. Thomas has needed development for a long time,
Right.
and that by the expansion of the road and the repair of the road, finally, due justice is being provided to St. Thomas, and the hotel that's going to come here is going to be part and parcel of this development.
Right. At
But
the expense of
Right, well, at the
Yeah,
expense of the
yeah.
livelihood. But you see, this is the thing. You know, jobs.
The independent
what type
livelihood.
of jobs?
Yeah. The
Right?
independent
Because-
livelihood will be taken away and replaced with you begging a job.
Exactly, and being
And
paid
what-
a
and whatever
wage that's
price
not
they decide,
sufficient,
yeah,
that
yeah.
you know takes away agency and everything from the people who are here,
Absolutely.
and from what they offer to the wider public. You know, we have a shortage of public space, right, and places to relax. And I tell I've been saying this to you. I'm not a beach guy. I'm really a river guy. So for me to actually love a beach, and I have videos on my YouTube out here that to try and again raise awareness, because I was unaware of this location, and in truth the entrance is hard to find. I passed it many times.
It's the first time I'm coming here.
Right, as
And I
was
must
for
tell
me,
you, and I
not
must
so
tell
long
you
ago.
this, I must tell you, if I had to drive down that thing to come here, normally I wouldn't come.
Right, and that's the thing.
Just personally speaking. However, that speaks to a level of disregard for the Jamaican people. In that so many places in Jamaica, it's hard to traverse them
Right.
because our government doesn't see it fit to provide the people with proper access in terms of roads infrastructure. So it's a lovely beach. It's a great area, and one that, in my opinion, should be preserved for the Jamaican people to enjoy,
Right.
and for others to come and be a part of that as well. So we're going to have to join you in the fight against
Yes,
what
man,
these
all
guys
hands
are.
on deck.
We're going to have to
hands
join
on
you.
deck.
We have to fight against this, and it's so unnecessary because
It would
those
seem so, right?
those who want
Right.
land and want access to our beautiful country, here's a way to go about it. They should be coming to us, and our government should be putting the people of Jamaica first. So the people here should come first. Their livelihoods, their history, their heritage, that should come first. We're not opposed to development.
Right. And like I said,
Yeah.
take a walk. You'll see
Yeah.
how much more beach. They have
Yeah.
all of that there.
And we're not opposed to
Why are they so
but the development.
concerned with this little strip? I mean,
The
this is the
development.
pinky
Yeah.
nail on the whole hand.
Well,
this
it's-
is the rest of there.
You
And
see,
this is what they're
happened is
fighting off.
you
right
are, we, the people here, to some of them might be undesirable. And I find our government is becoming more and more like this. Rather than working with the people to help the people to develop, like here now, why not just come here and help the people to fix the place up? Fix the road, get involved in the projects you're
By
talking about.
extension, St. Thomas
Yeah.
as a whole, it's been a parish that
Exactly.
has been long neglected. And
So let's
people
focus
are happy,
on
right, to see the
let's
roads, yeah.
focus on developing the area with the people, not against the people. We still want to have our rastas, we still want to have our boats, we still want to have our music, we still want to cook our food, we still want to be Jamaicans. In a nicer environment, a good road. And some other amenities, a nice bathroom and stuff, and wash areas and all that kind of stuff. But not by simply displacing them and giving some other person who wants to own a lot of stuff the opportunity to just come in and bulldoze people and push them out. So we're going to join the fight.
I tell you, the funny thing I had to point out to everybody here too, if this was Richard Dennison Beach, it would have been over in a minute,
Yeah.
right? And I told them, Bob has come back from the grave to lend his support. Think about it, right? Because if it wasn't for his name, we're getting one signature a second for the
Wow.
proposal for the past 2 days.
Where do you get? Is it online?
It's
or-
online, yes.
Okay. What's
Yes,
the?
ma'am.
Tell us what they have.
Yes, man. I'll send all the details.
But tell us
for
it
that,
for
right.
the camera. Tell us where it is.
It's, all right, if you do Save Bob Marley Beach petition, Google search,
Okay.
it'll come up.
Bob Marley Beach petition. Let us
so
all
Save
jump
Bob
on
Marley
that.
Beach
Save
petition.
Bob Marley Beach petition.
Save Bob
Save
Marley
Bob Marley
Beach
Beach.
petition.
Right.
So we're going to
It's online.
encourage it with all of our supporters as well here in Jamaica and abroad. We have to save this beach, and we must not give an inch. Not even an inch of it we must give. We must fight for this to the bitter end because, yes, man.
Just remember this point that the people them that enforce that it's some regular people, right? Gad is one of them, right? The most famous one, Ras Gad, that used cutlass and
Yeah,
them
you can
thing
get
there
through the history.
and chop out it come. You see the whole of all of them must right here, so them people here, they here so that live here, so a cash and maca them chop out of the whole of this big
And clear it themselves.
Yeah, the whole of them tree and everything, and them chop them out and clear the whole of this with cutlass and axe from outer road out the sun.
No help from the state.
No help from the state, and
Yeah.
then when Bob, Peter, and the rest of them used to come right round here, so this was the first Naya Bingi Center where the man used to come and play harps because they would have to come off of the road. Remember, you know the history already, and play a drum. And then because Bob used to day here, you know, this is how them name it now, Bob Marley.
So we the people do this.
Yes,
we the people.
Yes, regular people.
Yes.
You follow me? I do it, and now the people them create a space with it.
Yes, exactly.
And then them see the glory of it and want to take it. And it's not just here. You can't see the countless place. You don't really want.
Normally, thank you for that context. It's a very good context because what we're really losing here now, I think, little by little, we're pushing out the Jamaican and Jamaican heritage. Even in our hotels, what they're doing now, many of the entertainers are coming from outside in our hotels. You didn't know that? Yeah, the food in our hotels is no longer local food. They're bringing outside food. So outside people and outside food. Where are you from, sir?
Spain.
Spain. So this man, when him come from Spain, what he wants to taste is indigenous Jamaican. Now that you want?
No, I live here for a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a lecturer in the university.
Okay.
But what Rasta was saying is the right thing. They wait until you fix the place. Same thing happening at Dons River Falls, same thing happening at big list of ways. They waiting on they fix the place so the government can come
And take
the
it.
type of development that the country is doing is the opposite of the development that they should be doing.
Absolutely.
Hotels not going to help Jamaica, no time at all, because as
Absolutely.
you say, when you book a room in hotel, no,
The money just coming
not
out.
even come to the
Exactly.
country because you do it
You
in
book
a
online.
outside.
Absolutely.
I used to work for Rio, for example, and those hotels, and I know how them. And it's like a mafia thing. They have rooms here.
Yes. But the money
They
doesn't.
don't pay taxes, not even for the license.
Yeah.
A guest house will pay more taxes than them,
Yeah.
right? Them using your beaches. What is the sense? What happened at Mami Bay the other day? You know about the one at Mami Bay?
Tell me about it.
Steer Town, you know Steer Town?
Yes, Steer Town,
It's
yeah.
a big
Yeah.
ghetto, country ghetto, right? But people have a life hard.
Yes.
When we can come, where you carry your picnic when you don't have no money to enjoy themselves, and you can stress out yourself
Exactly.
to the beach. They used to walk down, a craft market used to be there, then catch it a fire, then take out the people then from the
Yes,
beach,
yes.
and then join it to the hotel. Not only that, the only walk access that was there, then
cut it
wall
off.
it. And the consular approved that. Which kind of consular? Consular should be the, what you say, in a chain? In a chain, the link in the chain that link the people with the people from up there.
Yes,
That's
okay.
a consular.
Yeah, should be.
Consular is not doing
Yeah.
the work, obviously.
No. Well, why? I'll tell you why. And the Jamaican people know this. Well, should know this. The two political parties that run this country, they are funded by the PSOJ oligarchy. A few rich people fund those two parties, which means they don't work for we the people. They work for those guys. So every time they make decisions, those decisions are made in the interest of those who fund their party. And the same funders fund both parties. So it doesn't matter which of the two the people vote for. They'll get a different sound, a different flavor, a different color, but the same outcome. All of Jamaica is for sale to somebody other than the Jamaican people. That's why some 500 years ago, when the colonial masters stole our property and stole our labor, and 78 years ago, these two parties took power, and for 78 years, they have not returned the land to the people. These lands now were stolen from us, and our labor was stolen from us. And after 78 years of these two parties, they have still not returned the land to the people. Why are we fighting for this land right now? A fair land. They just went and bulldozed some people out in Clifton.
Yes,
from
yes, that's the
people's
next
land.
one. That's the next one.
We're coming
there is
from-
no more land in
yeah.
Jamaica. There is no more land they can use. They have to use the land where the people already built their houses.
So they're taking away the
Story one,
land,
man.
and there's so much land here, but they're taking away the land from the people.
Take a next land
And,
somewhere else.
and they're calling these lands crown lands and government lands. What does that mean? It means somehow somebody else owns this land. Who sell the land to the government?
I want to tell you something, you know. I want to tell you something. Haile Selassie, back in the days in Africa, he used to send his government members outside to developed countries to get an idea of what they're doing. To come back, he found the first airline in the country. To come back and come with news, with ways of doing things. Here, tell me, which developed country, first world country, which one of them allow beaches to sell and buy the beach to sell and buy or owned by somebody. I'm from Spain. There's nobody can own a beach there. All the beaches are free, and if you have a house in the beaches because it's built way back in the days, up to today nobody can do.
Restrictions on
So
that.
if we want to develop the country, why you not look at first world countries, developing countries, how them do their thing? Here, instead of make money with the beach for the country,
Exactly.
help the little dollar where come in and a rule between us. No, they make the dollar go outside.
Let me make a very fine point. They're not selling the beach per se, you know. What they're controlling is access. Right, because the words we use, we have to be very careful because they're being selective in what they say.
They're being strategic.
Right, and our press release will address that wordplay because really they're hiding behind it. Because what we have listed as examples are real world instances where that has not been the case. And consistently, once a landowner gains access to property adjoining a beach, invariably the beach is locked off. And thereby, de facto, you know, there's no access. So this kind of game thing, we catch them now in this. And there's more, you know, the mere fact that they put out these press releases now either lends to they're confused or complicit, right?
Well, they're
It can't be, you know, right. They're clearly, in practice, allowing this to happen more than once. So there's no reason for anybody here to trust that this is going to not play out that way. Should these
There's no reason to trust
investors,
them.
whoever they are, gain control.
There's no reason to trust them.
And again, I just keep pointing out, observe, and please make sure, just cut the corner and see the vast area. Because when I walked, it took me about an hour.
Wow.
And the least amount of time was here to cut the corner and go all the way around. And all of that, as I understand, a good portion of it is land that's already sold and going to be used for development. So they can leave this alone. Just bear that in mind. There's no reason under God's sun why here has to be trouble. Why here? Because as I understand it, a road is going to be cut back that way. Right? So if a road is going to be cut back there, then why are you troubling here? Leave it alone. Or at least, better yet, as you mentioned earlier, develop the place, as I was going to do with my friends, right?
If you go around Jamaica, you're not going to see a lot of parks or public spaces developed for the enjoyment of Jamaican people.
Right.
You can almost go to any community and you're not going to see well-designed, well-developed play areas and beaches and parks for us. If you're going to New Kingston, there's a lovely park across from the Pegasus. You know why it's there? Because the Pegasus is there.
And the window. And the
Yes,
others, right?
exactly. So it's there for the benefit.
The Marriott's.
Yes.
This about the park right there. If anyone overstand Emancipation and Emancipation Park, remember, it's not true me a far right, me actually big up far right when I said it. It's some Rasta march with other people as well. That this man march to put emancipation back on the calendar, and this is how the park even was created right there. And then take it from the people. Emancipation Park, you see that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, and then take the park
Because
from the people.
are not emancipated.
Indeed.
Both Marcus Garvey and Bob Marley had to say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, because we're not emancipated.
No, but ourselves can free our mind.
Yeah, so we're not emancipated, and until Jamaica is returned to the Jamaican people, we're not talking about the government now, you know, to the people of Jamaica. Until Jamaica is returned to us, we'll continually be abused by even those who call themselves our government. Yeah.
So I need a revolution.
Oh, yes. It is a revolution. But a revolution doesn't have to be bloody, you know. It can be by the ballot back. Yeah?
But definitely in this instance, we're going to, the main push for Jobem is to change the law.
Yeah.
Because there are a series, and we're going to expose that in our press release, that we've done the due diligence on the law.
Yeah.
And there is a law that is allowing for this to happen. So government is selectively enforcing this law and allowing for all of this to go on. And clearly, you know, big business interests have a lot to say, which is not unsurprising. You see this in the States. So, you know, it's, again, up to civil, you know, resistance, which is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
So we all
and
have to come
raising world
together.
awareness.
Raise awareness, but make sure that we unite in terms of fighting this as a united force. We have to make sure the petition goes well, so we have to all share that petition, and then we have to make sure that the next time they try to do something physically here, we need to be here. So I'm calling for all Jamaicans to make sure that whenever they're trying to take actions like these, we come out in our numbers. Sometimes we sit and watch on social media, we watch on TV, and we're waiting for somebody else to do something. But it's time for us all now to step up and physically do something. So we must all come out. You understand me, brother?
No, you use the word.
Yes.
Return Jamaica to Jamaicans.
Yes.
I was wondering when was Jamaica belonging to Jamaica? For it to be returned.
Yes.
When did Jamaicans really own Jamaica?
Right. So when I speak about these things, I speak in the expanse of our African ancestry. All of Africa and everything that the African continent represents belong to the people of Africa. Jamaica, the fact that we are here, the fact that we have been enslaved here, the fact that we have been denied our rights here, this land belongs to us as much as all of Africa belongs to the African. You understand?
So basically Jamaicans are yet to own Jamaica?
Well, we can mince the
Because there was
nuance.
no time. The history doesn't show.
No.
What history shows that Jamaicans were forcefully, people who are known as Jamaicans today,
There are two sets of history.
they were forcefully brought here.
There are two sets of history.
Unless you're going prior to
What I'm saying is there are
the
two sets.
transatlantic slavery,
There are two sets of
the
history.
indigenous Jamaicans.
Listen, there are two sets of history. History one, you were brought here. History two, you're from here. Two sets of history. I am dealing with the history that says this is our land. You understand?
Yeah, but I'm saying, the reason why I interject a while ago, you are saying that until Jamaica is returned to Jamaicans. So I want to know, when did Jamaicans really own Jamaica? When you know our history, who are the Jamaicans you're talking about? Or is it the Tainos or who?
So what I'm saying is, and I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, the people of Jamaica have been denied two things over the history of Jamaica. Denied their lands and denied their labor. Do you agree with that?
So Jamaicans are yet to assert themselves as Jamaicans and own the land.
Right. So
And
one
that
way,
don't really happen.
right. So one way you can look at it is the way you have. The way I'm looking at it, this land has always belonged to us, the people. Right now, the land is occupied by a group that call themselves the government, and before them a group that call themselves the colonial masters. So we need to take that land back. Now we can have a debate about when, where, and who, but I'm more focused on getting this land into the hand of the Jamaican people. That's what I'm focused on. This land must get into the hands of the Jamaican people, and no longer the hands of the colonial powers or their representatives that is called the government of Jamaica.
So in principle, that is your job. But Mr. Gentleman have your job, right? I still your job, your ownership, right? The fact that him have your job unlawfully doesn't take away from the fact that it's your job. I need to claim your job. So the government may be exercising unlawful ownership of the land, but it's our land.
Yes.
So we need to claim that.
So whether we never
Not
had it
only
before,
later, but
because maybe from
actually.
your perspective, and I see where you're coming from your perspective, we have never had this land. And there's some people who love for us to believe that actually. Some colonial guys who want to tell us that enough of it, and we must go find somewhere else. But me knows that this is ours. This belongs to we. And my job as a representative of the people is to fight for this land to be in the hands of the people. So nobody can call us squatters anymore, no squatter no day again. And nobody can come and bulldoze us. And if they try, we must fight back aggressively and stop them. So the next time they come to one of our property and tell us there's government property or crown land, we must fight for it. We must not stand back. Whether they bring an army or a police, we must fight for that land. We must form a barricade. I must see 50,000 Jamaicans in front of them. We the people must say, we don't care what law you're operating under. Any law which denies us access to our land, access to our beach, is a law that is no good. And not Bob Marley, Marcus said it well. Justice, finish it for me. Justice is greater than the law. So no matter what law Andrew is using, justice is greater than FEMA law. And we the Jamaican people must take back our land at all costs.
Give thanks to take your time out.
Yeah man, it's a pleasure. And listen, we're in it with you.
Yeah man,
We have to, you know, not just here, you have to help us defend Lluidas Vale, and we have to defend Clifton. Anywhere they want to move Jamaican off the land, we have to come together and defend them.
Yeah, all right.
So we defend you, We go up there and defend them.
Yeah, man.
Everywhere. Anywhere they want to push us off of
So
our
yeah,
land.
the man that organize the whole of it.
Yes, yes.
So greatness.
Yeah, man, we're pulling everybody together.
Yeah, man.
No more land
Yeah.
must be demolished. Some of the house must be demolished because I feel landed.
Yeah, man.
I feel landed.
That's my third generation around here, so
Exactly.
and we have our generation to say, you know, say a fourth generation.
And by the way, while you're at it, I heard that they took the fella for the ganja a while ago.
My brother,
Your brother?
Yeah.
Wow.
them
Wow.
take them mash down the herb, them and that.
And they mash it down.
And
And
take a hose.
I want people to understand what we're talking
Them
about
try
here.
to
You know.
destroy our livelihood.
Our government is telling us it's illegal to plant a plant. Who tell them it's illegal?
No, but look, I and I,
Yeah.
and that's not going to I and I.
I know. They never
But them never,
yeah.
look now, listen, hear what them say, remember them say 5 plants every household.
Yes.
So that different from I and I.
Yeah.
And
But who
what
give them
are
even the right for that?
Our herb, a
Yes.
sacrament.
Yes.
So you can't come destroy a sacrament and go.
Yeah. Well, I take a broader position. Here's my position. There's no plant on the face of the earth that any government has the right to make illegal.
Alright.
No plant.
Yeah.
God give it a plant then. And a man give it a plant, you know.
No, but look, it's all illegal and them take the whole of the herb and make how much money now I get license.
But what
You know from
exactly?
when? Hold on.
Yes.
From a barn, I know my father plant ganja.
Yes.
You know far usually walk,
Yes.
go plant ganja. And now them say little rights there now.
Yeah.
And we still like a little distance in the bush and them go around, they go cut down with tree them
And
root
they put laws in
and
place.
burn them up.
They put laws in
And take
place.
what them cast, what them want.
They put laws in place to say that if you want to plant it, you must come to them and get a license. And you must pay them a whole heap of money.
Yeah.
Because they want to keep out the poor man out of the business.
Yeah.
They want to make it something that is owned and controlled by a few, like they do with everything else. Everything else they want to accumulate the wealth in the hands of a few.
Yeah.
So that's why they have done that to us. And I can tell you this. Just to buy a license, I want to tell you this.
Yeah, and they can't bring
This-
that to I and I. We
this-
fight for
This UIC movement here, so this UIC movement here, our goal is to make sure that marijuana and every plant is perfectly legal. You can plant as much as you want, whenever you want, as long as you're not using force or fraud to interfere with anybody else.
Alright, this is how Jamaica government runs.
Yeah.
You have to have some, what you call it now, some accountant to come here,
I'm an accountant.
push some money. You see me? Yeah, because you know them are people are like, you don't have to worry about it. I would not like hand up. That's how we plan to do.
We're all,
But you know them politicians, they want this and that.
they want handout. They want handout. But we're going to fight out that. We're going to fight it out. Let's not give up because we know it's a traditionally that's the way it goes. We're not going to do that. We're here for the people and we're going to fight for your land, for your ganja, for your freedom.
Alright, look,
Yes.
I'll show you. You see this? And I just bow in, and this is for the whole, this is for the world,
Listen,
the universe right here. Right, free. When it's free to the public, I feel everywhere. But when you come now and you come privatize it now, nobody, you have to come with a long pocket.
Exactly.
Oh, so we know,
they can
we're not
exclude
going to
now.
now, we are Jamaica and
They
forgot
can
now.
exclude now.
What we are going to do?
Yeah.
Eh?
They can
But they want to
exclude
take over the
now.
nice over them now and they want to take for the whole of
Look
the
how
little
nice
beach
this
them.
place is that they've put together right
Alright, look, you see the place them left in a darkness.
Yeah. They lock off the pull out the light.
A Delco we are used. They say as youth as I grow here so we know the place there. Dark. Dark and we make case and do what we are do before night. And we walk on the road for water. And we got a shop. And we got a bush all the cold. That's how we survive. And the amount of maca and some serious type of maca.
Yeah.
Deal with maca and I'm not talking about the cash of maca. And we chop
Serious
out
maca.
and make the place there so. We are
I know they
talking
want to
about-
come take it.
Yeah. The road and them something and a good road. And we start put up on internet and people start come now we tell people about it and show us a Bob Marley now.
Yeah.
Because it's at beach, you know. Yeah, and them are here about this Bob Marley now and then. You see me?
Wow.
But see my grandmother that hear her voice. And she look for the documentary name the legend, right? That's how it do.
Okay.
You see me? And I used to talk about them boy, the slave master, them.
Still alive?
We take away, no, we take away we land.
Yes, man.
Mr. Phil, watch it in a bridge, which are great, I quote not and I talk about.
That's right.
The legend.
The legend. I saw
Yeah.
it. I saw it.
Look on Bob Marley, Bull Bear history. I used to share great I quote man, so the boy then take away and take away land. And that them I try to do.
Yes.
Our family are the face, a Rasta, a Jamaica. You see the social study book of them teacher school, our family in that. My father, my mother, my brother them, and my grandmother.
Wow.
Aside? Yeah. All them places where them have about history thing down our town, in a hard place. Gallery and we. Them can't get this. You see, we have a semi son and brother named Jakes. I saw him come and qualify. And I him go right for Rasta. I him in that delegation, there's a delegation that to America go teach about Rastafari.
Okay.
That's the way I play right now. Yeah, so me I show you say I hold for history but right as well.
Yeah.
As a youth, Peter told me a pair of grey and white Reebok right around this. You get me?
Yeah.
So we just born around the whole of the thing, big ship sailing on the ocean right as well. See big ship them there. Freddie McGregor do more song, only for music, right as well. Inspiration. Bob Marley much song.
It's the heritage side.
Yeah, that's the first Nyabingi center in the world. The first priest, Nyabingi priest. I never say first Rasta gathering, you know. I say the center. So I don't want to get interested to a Rasta from Bakawal days. When I run a Rasta them from Bakawal days, yes, so then come formalize them thing. Bring stuff up. Yeah, your overs? Yes, sir. A whole heap of thing.
Well, listen, man, we're with you. We're with you.
Yeah, man.
Respect.
Yeah,
We're with you.
respect,
Yeah,
man.
man. We're with you.
Thanks for your
Yes,
presence.
man. Respect.
Yeah, man.